I believe that being truthful to yourself brings good to the world. Every person has the right to be unique, and yet we fail to be ourselves. We fail to let our children be who they are. This is a journey to inspire you how to get closer to yourself in order to fully live and play your role in this life. And let me be clear, the button set has been switched on since you were a child. Childhood is very short, especially if you want to live to 100 like I do. Well, I'm not sure if others around me would agree with that. Who else wants to live to 100? Okay, well, medicine and technology are allowing us today to live to 100 years. But reaching 100 is not enough. Who wants a great life? Well, yes. This is how I explain childhood to my children. 100 years are like 10 fingers. Every finger represents a decade. Childhood means 1.5 fingers. This is a very short period. We are allowed to be children. Well, you still have the other half of the second finger, but then you're a kind of a hybrid, especially too old for this kind of finger explanation. Well, 8.5 years of adulthood, and yet our full essence is concentrated in the 1.5 finger. Our full essence is there in our childhood and what we love to play as a child. As a child, I loved to play theater so much, I wanted to go to drama school. I knew what I wanted. Playing theater was entirely me, and it was what I loved the most. Do you see this head? Well, sure, you cannot look inside, but my head stood in the way. Curious girl, smart student, she's gonna become a lawyer. What happened to me is rather banal. It happens to a lot of us. I chose to choose what was expected of me. The young woman listening to the child in her was not being heard. At 28, I became a general manager. Well, I told you, brainy stuff inside. Well, real adulthood, status. I was sure competent and making things better, but is this it? Was the main feeling I had. It felt a bit like playing the role of a general manager. Well, wasn't that what I wanted? Parenthood. 2 baby girls. One born on the 13th of January and another one born on the 14th of January. I will let you figure out how that is possible. A typical female dilemma arises. How was I going to be a great mom and a great professional? Well, banal again. Men seem to be less bothered by this, but are they really? Superman. Well, this superwoman chose to opt out of the traditional working world. What could I do to organize work in a more creative way? I labeled myself as an inventor of other ways of working and set up my own company. We say that the greatest things are born out of a personal frustration, and I agree. But there is more to it. My 3 strong natural-born talents for creativity were at work, but I didn't know it at the time. When you were a child, did your parents tell you what to play? Or were you free to cut the hair of your favorite baby doll and make a tent under the Christmas dining table? Well, those who are parents, do you oblige your children to play with the games you chose? Normally, we adults, we do not force our children to play with the games we chose. Does it sound scary? Well, it is what we do years later. As our children grow older, we influence, we guide them towards a future of role play. We think we know better, but we do not listen to their emotions. We guide them towards diplomas for the sake of security, status, and money. We did not tell our little children what to play. We shouldn't tell them what role to play in life, because too many times it ends up in role play. Well, society and the school system, they kind of guide us towards being competent and maybe competent and happy. Too many of us put ourselves between brackets because we are taught to be competent and thus maybe role play. Well, maybe there is another way. There is a solution. Remember the 1.5 finger? A child is pure and natural. A playing child is where it wants to be, where it needs to be, where it chooses to be. The games you play are an expression of who you are. Energy vitamin is the nickname I got when I was a student. I can tell you that 2 years ago, the energetic and playful person I normally am was not feeling like a playing child. Well, do you have that sometimes too? Like, you feel that something is wrong, but you cannot really pinpoint what exactly? Well, besides being too much in my head, being the trustworthy consultant, I was not fully expressing my 13 strong natural-born talents. Everything is already there. Everything is in the 1.5 finger. And yet we fail to recognize it. We fail to make the intangible tangible. So my intuition just told me, follow the guide of being a child and playing games, because you will get out of your zone of discomfort by this. So let me share a bit of that experience with you. Take one, the 2 baby girls. Well, they're grown-up, almost grown-up adults. They're teenagers today, childish ones. I'm not supposed to tell you this. Mirror, mirror on the wall. Why are children worse than Snow White's stepmother? Why do children confront us so much with ourselves? Because they know where they have to be. Because they just are. It is the purest form of humanity. Take 2. As an adult, make space to let the child in you come out. On a cold Saturday, I found a perfect excuse to play like a child. Reverse day. Our children played that they were the parents. They were washing our dirty pile of clothes. They were even ironing and cooking spaghetti. That was the easy one. After 4 hours, they gave up. Role-playing parent was nice to try, but not funny. Me and my husband didn't ask to stop. You know, we were really enjoying playing like children. So really, role-playing a child is a great experience. Adults love it. Children, a little bit less, but don't tell them, just check it out. So children empower me. When I play like a child, I'm empowered. But what about that little girl I was and that loved to play with so many games? Take 3. Hi, my name is Birgit Peeters. I want an analysis of my natural-born talents, and I want to become an analyst myself. Why am I standing here today in front of you? Because I believe that being truthful to yourself brings good to the world. The impact of the analysis is standing in front of you. 3 strong natural-born talents linked to expressing myself are at play, and I'm enjoying it. This amazing person called Danielle found that there is a clear link between what you love to play as a child and what makes you happy as an adult. 25 years of hard empiric evidence made the intangible tangible. I believe in intrinsic motivation, whether you're motivated or whether you're not. Do you know about a person that is half motivated? That's maybe called comfort zone. I also believe in clarity. And sometimes our competencies, meaning what you have learned at school or by experience, they hide away the clarity we already have inside of us. So let me ask you to close your eyes for a few seconds, please. We're going back in time. You're 8 years old, maybe 9 or 10. What are you playing? Are you inside? Are you outside? Or maybe you're both? What toy do you hold in your hand? Who is with you? Do you hear yourself laughing? Doing it again? Feel the joy of that kid you were, because this is where your energy lies. This is who you are. Please let me ask you to come back. People fear change. We need to pay bills. What if you could pay more bills or even more expensive bills because you stopped working and you start playing? Our future is very unpredictable. Soon we will have to collaborate with robots, and a robot might be as competent as you are. Our future is unpredictable, but our past says something about predictability. The difference between you and the robot is your personality. Proudly human means being entirely yourself, being truthful to yourself. Play teaches us a lot about who we are and what good we can bring to the world. It is never too late to live a happy childhood.